You know, dare I say, I enjoyed this series more than Moon Knight. More than Moon Knight, but I guess that's kind of like a, well, Moon Knight's kind of... Anyway, what's going on, my YouTuber subscribers, family? Hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday and a good start to your week, because I have just finished binge watching the new Netflix series known as Pacific Rim the Black. It is on Netflix, the animated series. I just binge watched literally season 1 and 2 all weekend. I was just like, I wasn't gonna do a video on this, but I just finished season 2, and I'm just like, this is why I do videos. I do videos because I like talking about shit that I just like, and hopefully you like too. Holy God, this was side of a surprise, because I actually watched a friend of mine, Tyler. I watched his video on season 2 of Pacific Rim the Black, and I was like, oh, Pacific Rim, I like that movie. Big ass monsters fighting robots, clashing together and shit like that. That was good. The first movie was good, right? The second one was kind of just no. But I was like, oh, animated series based off of this in this universe. Okay, let's see what it is. I watched episode 1, and I was just like, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, and then next thing you know, season 1, then I was like, okay, pop on season 2 right now. Fuck, I'm excited, guys. I want to talk about Pacific Rim the Black. Hey, let's talk about this show. If you don't know what it is, it's a new animated series. It's on Netflix. Season 1 and 2 are out right now to check it out. Got everything you love about Pacific Rim as far as like the monsters and giant fighting robots and shit, but it also has that emotional weight, because at the end of the day, it is a personal story about two people trying to get back and find their parents amidst the apocalypse. Let's just talk about it. Here's my thoughts on the Pacific Rim seasons 1 and 2. Let's go. Well, like I said, the plot more or less is the fact that, okay, this series takes place in the universe of Pacific Rim 1, but I think as far on paper goes, it's like an alternate reality version of Pacific Rim 2. For the sake of just this review, let's just say it takes place in the world of Pacific Rim 1 and 2. Giant monsters have still been breaching our reality and shit like that, and more or less you're focusing on these two kids. Well, of course they grow up, not kids for all day. You got brother and sister, Haley and Tyler, stuff like that. You get introduced to their parents in season 1, and they're like these ace Jaeger fighters and shit like that. Jaegers are the giant robots, in case you didn't know. They're fighting this giant category 5 monster or some shit, and they gotta make the ultimate sacrifices. Like, okay, yeah, we gotta kill this thing, but it's also like, we gotta also peace out too in order to protect you guys. So bye-bye, kids. But they get the emotional weight, the speech of like, don't worry, we will find you. No matter what happens, I'll always be with you in your heart, and nothing will stop us from being back together again. Promise me you'll take care of your sister. Promise me. Promise me. So of course that's code for like, yeah, we're gonna peace out, and then you're just gonna think we're dead for like the next 5 years. So that's how it goes. 5 years later, we got our adult brother and sister, Taylor and Haley. They're like, okay, yeah, we want to find our parents, stuff like that. We're in this like little, safe haven canyon and shit. And then one day, of course, they discover this Atlas destroyer Jaeger. This is like training Jaeger. They're just like, oh shit, Jaeger, we could use this Jaeger to find our parents. So they boot it up. But when they boot it up, another kaiju, his name is Copperhead. Yeah, all these kaijus have names and shit. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? Okay, another kaiju, big category 4 kaiju, dickhead, Copperhead. He's like the main antagonist of season 1. He gets one of those alarms, and he just comes and he just kills the shit out of this village and shit. And kind of Haley blames herself because like, I didn't find the Jaeger. Copperhead wouldn't destroy the village, and now it's like, it's my fault. Everyone's dead. Pretty much, you're just following these two brother and sister. They're on this journey through this wasteland apocalypse to get to this army base where they think their parents are at. It's just the emotional journey with it, because every episode is just literally like all these conflicting things are happening. All they got to make these hard decisions, hard choices, because they just thrown into this life to find their parents, and they got to make a lot of hard decisions as kids. It was some deep shit. And along the way, they find this little boy. They call him Boy, and of course Haley gets attached to him because that's like her son. And it's just like, okay, the boy, he's got secrets and shit. I won't say what those secrets are. I don't want to spoil this shit if you are interested. But when you see the secret, you're like, oh, okay. The dilemmas. What do we do? But literally, like this entire episode, entire season 1 and 2 was like, I was there, because it was just like, if I was in the middle, it's like, okay, Tyler wants to do this, Haley wants to do that, what would I do? And I'm like, both of these are like one way right or the other, even though more often than not, I was kind of against Haley, because I'm one of the people that's just like, if you're going to endanger the group, don't do that. It's like, no, you're gonna literally, like, I get it. At the end of the day, it's kind of like she was right, but in the moment, I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that. No, that the giant monster, let's not go there. I'm not sacrificing us and you on a hunch. to save this person. Me being all like, I'm not trying to spoil his shit. I'm just saying there's some deep shit. But season 1 wraps up and goes into like right into season 2, which I'm glad it was like right there on the spot. Is you got this like evil cult of sisters and shit like that. And they pretty much want to use Boy to pretty much just resurrect this kaiju god and shit. How they want to do it is kind of like it's explained, but it's just pretty much know that season 2 is all about the sisters trying to get Boy to resurrect this kaiju god that's gonna just dick slap the world. That's season 2. More deeper shit, more like revelations and stuff like, it's good shit. Also more pros. Characters in the episode in the season 2 were great. I will really attach to our 2 main characters because it's just like we're following along. We feel the personal journey. That's what I like about movies, games, TV shows. I like those personal stories. It's just the personal stories. It's like you can't really get them in the movies. I don't know why, because Hollywood just thinks that we just care about the giant monster, the giant fighting. And we do. This is why shows, like big budget shows, can they work on Netflix? It's just like you can have like 7 episodes to flesh out these characters so people get attached to them, and you can still have your giant monster fights and, sprinkle throughout the season to satisfy that part. But it was just like, I'm really attached to this story because they meet different characters along the way. We got this one girl, her name is May. We're just like, she's kind of one of those like hard asses, but she got some baggage, she got some damage, and like what you learn about her, also good. Also, this dickhead Shane, it's one of the things like, yeah, you're an asshole, but it's like one of those like assholes you meet in the apocalypse that's just like, yeah, I got an agenda and shit like that, but I'm real suave and cool and shit, so you gotta trust me, right? No. Things like by the time you get to the end of his arc, it's like, okay, he does this thing and I'm like, okay, maybe you're not a complete asshole. I'll forgive 2 episodes of you being an asshole, but the other 5 episodes, dick. The giant monsters in Pacific Rim, because it is Pacific Rim, the monster fights are pretty good too, because it's in the anime CGI and stuff like that, but it's still like that really good crisp anime CGI. I like how it looks. The colors real pop. You really feel like they're in like these desert canyons and stuff like that, so it really, really like shines with the animation. I like that. Plus the giant monster fights, they still feel good. It's like they, they're moving in slow motion when they punch things because they're so massive. Because also you feel like the dread too, because they're in this Jaeger, but they're not like ace pilots. They're not like, yeah, we're vets, we could just fuck off Kaiju. Nah, the Jaeger they're in doesn't even have weapons. So like the whole like, I think 6 episodes season 1 doesn't have any weapons. So you're just like, all they can do is just kind of outrun these Kaijus or just straight up punch them until they do get a weapon, and it's awesome. It's like, oh shit, yeah, now we're fucking shit. I just can't praise the show enough. I was really just like, I was binge watching it like every episode. It was like last night, I was like trying to play a game with my brother, and I was just like, give me 10 minutes, I gotta finish episode 5. When it was over, I was just like, I could really go for episode 6 round, but gotta do some Fortnite. End of the day, Pacific Rim the Black was an amazing watch. I had a great time watching it. If you are a fan of Pacific Rim, at least the first one, you like anime, you like good monster fights, and also animated series with good heart and characters, Pacific Rim the Black, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. You can watch it for free. Or who pays for Netflix anymore? What? Do you pay for Netflix? Come on. Be real. I thought so. If you're interested in seeing Pacific Rim the Black, just check it out on Netflix. I highly recommend it. I loved it so much. Like I said, it was a great watch. I binge watched it. So yeah, whatever your thoughts about it, type let them know to talk about it. Because yeah, next week, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I'm still working on seeing the movie early for you guys. So yeah, won't be no spoilers. But I'll see you early. As always, subscribe. Until next time.